Hello again. These are the skies over Naples, Italy, as they were on Sunday the 12th of May 2025. Just in the background somewhere there you can see that's Vesuvius. The iPhone had trouble maintaining focus while the plane was landing, but I think this is a pretty good shot of the city as you're flying in. You can see Vesuvius at the far left of the picture there. Now, some of this video is at double speed and 4 times speed. I thought I'd make it a bit more lively, cramming basically a 40-minute video into 15 minutes. And the plane here is just landing at Naples. We flew out from Manchester in the UK out to Frankfurt, and then from Frankfurt here we are landing at Naples on this Airbus, which I've always found Lufthansa to be a really good airline to fly with, rather than some of these cheaper ones where you get lots of add-ons, you know. Now here we are landing at Naples. This is double speed. These are the cruise ships, and this is the view from the Hotel Bella Capri in Naples there. A really good hotel. That's a 1970s cruise ship, I think, there in the background. Silver something, I can't quite make it out. Now here are the streets, not far from the Spanish Quarter, you know, the old quarter in Naples. And I thought I'd speed this up. Now you might think, wow, look at all this traffic, what a terrible thing. But like, it's a double-edged sword, I think, because Naples really thrives. That's evident, I think, to anybody who visits. The whole city centre is bustling and thriving, unlike most of our cities, in fact all of our cities in the UK. Just sort of contrast it with Leeds in the UK, where lots of things have been done to discourage motorists from visiting the city centre, such as bus traps, you know, getting a £60 fine from going in a certain place. But I don't think there's any of that in Naples here. You can see traffic just rushes through the little streets here, and I think that's what keeps Naples alive. You can get to it anywhere by car and scooter and motorcycle. These are the old streets, centuries old, of course. Very beautiful to look at. And here's my wife. We're at this sort of dead end, and we're about to turn back towards the traffic. Now, why Naples? Well, we've been just about everywhere, you know. It's I'm 76 years old now. We've been 30 times to the far side of the world. Avoided the Americas, but in the old continent, Europe, out to Southeast Asia, and so on, Australia. So we ran out of places to visit. We'd sort of done the Mediterranean years ago, lots of times, 22 trips to France in the car. But one place we hadn't been to was Naples, and this is our third trip. And I was sort of put off at first for years, thinking about, crime in Naples. Actually, it's a cruise ship terminal now, and it seems to have really turned around. And contrasting that in the sense with the UK. Well, I always look at people walking on the streets, and in the sense that they're sort of carrying mobile phones in their hands now, and everyone's just resting it on the palm, a lot of people anyway, resting the phone on the palm of their hands, walking through Naples. There's no way that you could do that in any of the cities in the UK, no way at all. London, for example, it would be snatched straight out of your hand. So we've never had any trouble in Naples. It feels such a safe place. There are like sort of 3 levels of police seemingly. You encounter them as you sort of go through the city, which does give some reassurance that you can actually see a police presence. And you look at, you know, how the police are all armed. Again, I think that's a good thing. Anyway, I'm not aware of anything happening to anyone I know in Naples. But one of the interesting things in Naples is the graffiti. Graffiti seems to be accepted in Naples, and that guy just going around the corner there, he's holding a mobile phone in one hand. I've got some other videos on this site of all of these scenes taken at normal speed, which you might want to look at. Now there's the Triumph motorcycle, very much like the one I used to have in 1967. The big difference in Naples, they can stay well maintained because you've got no salt on the roads corroding them. Definitely if I lived in Naples I would have a motorcycle. So here we are going through the streets. This beautiful archway here. And the rail seems to go. You can see the metro thing, the metro sign. It's down some stairs there. I think you go into a subterranean railway. And these electric bikes are more popular now than ever in Naples. Well, the best thing about Naples, I think, is the food. Every lunchtime we would go out and would eat a small pizza. You know, a pizza that's actually covered in fresh tomato. Very much unlike those pizzas that you typically get in the UK in these fast food outlets. Your typical UK pizza, you can sort of throw it like a frisbee, you know, because hard cheese on the top, hard baked bread at the bottom. Nothing like the succulent, superb pizza you will get in Italy, and particularly in the south here in Naples. These are the cruise ships again at the port. And here are the streets. You get some very interesting costumes and fashions on the streets of Naples. You can see someone there wearing a long gown. I don't know whether it was an event here, but not the only person I've seen walking along dressed really interestingly for the place. I've slowed this down a little bit and tried to catch it. I'm not sure whether there was an event on. You would never get that in our hometown, for example. There's something very charismatic if you come from somewhere else, perhaps. But you know, no doubt also if you live permanently in Naples. Some of this is in slow motion. Not for any particular reason, it's just that I filmed some of it in slow motion and I can't alter the speed back. Filming this with an iPhone 16 Pro, which I think does a reasonable job of filming. We're about to walk down a street that's covered in graffiti, and I noticed some sort of gates, metal gates, as though that might be actually sealed off at night or something. But graffiti is everywhere in Naples, and it's like an art form. If you look very closely at it, there's a lot of hidden meaning, I think, in some of this graffiti that I don't know. I wonder if, for example, various groups of people, you know, have their own signs on the walls and so on. And this is sort of very interesting when you look at it. It's my wife looking at some jewellery. We didn't buy anything, I don't think. We made the mistake of arriving with too much in the suitcases, you know. Have you ever done that? You've sort of flown on holiday with packed suitcases and then can't bring anything back. Every time we go somewhere we say we won't do that, but we always do it. Now these are the gates, metal gates on this street. Now if you watch the separate video I made of this, again on my channel here under the Italy section, you'll hear some music being played, classical music, as though there's some sort of opera or something being practiced in that big building on the right there. Of course, Naples is flooded with tourists these days. Big cruise ships pull up in the harbour, and they take sort of guided tours with a guide holding a flag on the end of a pole. We've never been into that sort of thing really. We go somewhere now and just hang around and absorb the culture. Not even interested in, going down to Pompeii. Just Naples itself is so interesting in the city centre, the sights that you see, people that you meet. We were talking to a chap in McDonald's who had spent a lot of time in America and had now returned to Naples. That was a very interesting conversation about the differences in America. Here we are, the cruise ship terminal, some white smoke. Early morning, we were out from the hotel, and straight from there we went to the I can't remember the name of this place actually. Gallery Umberto, of course, and did a little bit of filming. Very difficult to capture it all in. I think these people are trying to superimpose their face on the ceiling there, in a photograph perhaps, or a video. Of course, a place as big as this, it's very difficult to capture it on film, or rather in a photo. Another thing about Naples I haven't covered here are churches. There are so many superb churches in Naples, and you can go to these churches. You'll find the streets outside packed with hundreds of people, and the church itself being empty, literally empty. There was only us in many of the churches we went into. That looks like a cruise ship tour going past. I've never been into that myself actually. I saw one of the people on the last time we were here. We were sat in a pavement cafe having a pizza at lunchtime, and a woman walking past in one of these tour groups looked absolutely longingly at us both sat in a cafe. Of course, if you're in a tour group, you've got to follow along. You're being led along, aren't you? Not my scene at all. Well, that's the ceiling of the Gallery Umberto, the dome, I should say. Very interesting place when you think of the history, although not all that old, the history this place has seen. They're mannequins, and that's looking out from a store where Adele bought some clothes there. And here we have a chap playing a violin. I've got his permission to post this. I'll spread this up, I hope that's okay. Superb area there. When you walk through there and go down there, you're going, eventually go down to the left, you go down towards the sort of bridge area where all of the brand name shops are. This is double speed. Some of it is normal speed. We just caught this at the end. He turned up, people there were wanting him to sing at a higher pitched voice. You can see a woman raises her arm. So I actually double speeded it to increase the pitch. Hope you find that amusing, and I hope he does as well. Well, this is about the end of this video. If you want to see everything at normal speed with background sounds, they're on the channel there. Take care now, bye.